A short reply should not ruin your whole mood, but somehow it does. They usually say, "Hey," and today they just say, "Hey." They usually answer with warmth, and today the message feels flat. They pause before replying. They use a period. Their voice sounds colder. Their face looks distracted for 2 seconds, and suddenly your mind is not in the present. It is scanning yesterday. It is rereading the last conversation. It is building a case from tiny clues. Did I do something? Are they annoyed? Are they pulling away? Did something change and I missed it? The outside event is small, but inside, it feels like the floor moved. That is what makes this loop so exhausting. You are not only reacting to their tone, you are reacting to what your mind thinks their tone means about your safety, your place, and your value in that connection. A tiny shift in someone's energy can feel huge when your mind treats connection like something that can disappear without warning. It is not the short message alone. It is the fear hiding underneath it. The fear that warmth can turn cold. The fear that someone can change their mind quietly. The fear that you will have to figure it out before they say it. So your mind becomes a detective. It studies punctuation. It measures response time. It compares today's tone with yesterday's tone. And the painful part is that you may know you are doing it. You may tell yourself, "This is probably nothing." But your body does not fully believe it. Because uncertainty in a close connection can feel more disturbing than a clear problem. A clear problem gives you something to respond to. Uncertainty gives you fog. So the mind keeps circling, trying to prevent emotional surprise. That is the first reason a small tone change can send you into a spiral. Your mind is trying to get ahead of pain before it arrives. A delayed reply becomes a warning. A colder tone becomes evidence. The mind says, if I can read the signs early enough, maybe I can protect myself. But protection turns into punishment when every small shift becomes a signal. You stop experiencing the person in front of you and start monitoring them. That is how a normal human moment becomes a private emergency. The second reason is that your mind fills silence with old material. When someone is unclear, your mind does not leave the blank empty. It uses whatever it already knows. Old rejection. Old embarrassment. Old moments when warmth disappeared and you had to guess why. This is why telling yourself, "Stop overreacting," usually does not help. The reaction is not only about the message, it is about the memory your mind attached to that kind of shift. You see one small change. Your mind sees a pattern. But a pattern is not always a prophecy. Just because something once meant danger does not mean it means danger every time. Someone can be tired and still care. Someone can be busy and still value you. Someone can sound flat because their day is heavy. That possibility matters, not because you should ignore your instincts, but because an instinct is a signal, not a final verdict. The third reason the spiral grows is that you start asking questions you cannot answer alone. Are they upset with me? Was that tone intentional? Are they slowly pulling away? These questions feel urgent, but most of them require another person's clarity. Your mind cannot solve them by replaying the message 20 times. This is where the spiral tricks you. It makes you believe more thinking will create more certainty, but after a point, thinking becomes emotional guessing. The story becomes, they replied late because they are upset. Then, they are upset because I said something wrong. Then, I should pull back before they do. Now, one short reply has become an entire identity story. That is the moment to pause, not to shame yourself, to separate the clue from the conclusion. Try this sentence. I noticed a change. I do not yet know what it means. That sentence is small, but it changes the whole loop. Because the spiral usually begins when I noticed a change turns into I know what this means. You have a signal. You do not have the full story. The next step is to name the actual fact without adding fear to it. Not, they are being cold. Say, their reply was shorter than usual. Not, they do not care. Say, they took longer to respond today. Not, something is wrong between us. Say, their tone felt different to me. This is not pretending everything is fine. It is keeping the mind honest. A fact is something that happened. A fear is what the mind attaches to it. When you mix them together, fear starts wearing the costume of truth. The next step is to give yourself a delay before you react. Spirals want immediate action. Send another message. Ask if they are mad. Go quiet. Match their energy. Withdraw before they can. But immediate action often comes from the most frightened part of you. So give yourself 10 minutes before doing anything. During those 10 minutes, ask, what else could explain this? Not one perfect explanation, just 3 possible explanations. They are tired. They are distracted. They are dealing with something unrelated. This does not prove everything is fine. It simply loosens the grip of the single worst story. Then ask the more useful question. What response would I respect from myself tomorrow? Not what gets reassurance fastest. Not what protects your pride. Sometimes the answer is to leave it alone. Sometimes it is to ask directly but calmly. Hey, I may be reading this wrong, but you seemed a little distant today. Is everything okay? That is different from an accusation. It gives room for truth without handing your whole emotional state to their punctuation. There is one more check that matters. Ask yourself, am I responding to this person or am I responding to a fear story? Because those are not the same. Responding to the person means you stay connected to what is actually happening. Responding to the fear story means you act as if the worst version is already confirmed. That is how people start testing, withdrawing, sounding sharp, or acting indifferent when what they really want is clarity. The goal is not to become someone who never notices changes. The goal is to stop treating every change as a verdict. If this kind of quiet inner pattern is something you want to understand more clearly, you can subscribe or stay close to the channel. No pressure. Just a place to slow these moments down before they take over your whole day. There are a few traps to watch for. Do not rush for reassurance before the first wave settles. A kind answer may calm you for 5 minutes, then the mind asks for another sign. Do not pretend you did not notice while secretly keeping score. And do not punish someone for a meaning you have not confirmed. A colder reply, a delayed response on purpose, a sudden wall, these can turn fear into distance. So the next time one small change in tone makes your mind run, come back to this. I noticed a change. I do not yet know what it means. Then name the fact. Separate the fear. Wait before reacting. Choose the response you would respect tomorrow. A short reply can be uncomfortable. A delayed message can feel loud. But it does not have to become a full movie in your head. You can notice the shift without obeying the spiral. You can care without chasing certainty. You can ask for clarity without abandoning yourself first. And sometimes that is the real change. Not that people always sound warm, but that one small change in their tone no longer gets to control the whole room inside you.